Hi everybody, okay, so I'm back out with the Dart XL and today I'm going to try and beat my 10k long range record. The only change I've really made to the plane is I have put on a new motor. The old one had the one with the dodgy magnets without the Sunny Sky label on, so I've gone for a Sunny Sky 2216-7. It's the 1250 Mark III blue motor, 1250 kV. And I'm running a new prop now. I've been running these for a few weeks now. I'm running these Cam Carbon Light, these Aeronaut props. They're really stiff. They really don't take much balancing, hardly any balancing at all. In fact, I haven't balanced any of them, to be honest. So I got out to my 10k with one of these Gensace 3300 mAh Lipos 4S. And today I'm going to be trying, although I'm a little bit nervous about it, this Turnigy 5.2 5200 mAh 4-cell, but it's only 12C, so it's 130 grams more weight in it than the other Lipo, and I'm going to be trying running that with the GoPro as well. So this launches really well, but with all the extra weight, I've come to a place where I'm going to be standing on a mound, so I'm kind of like 2 meters above the ground already. Give it a good throw. Got the auto launch, iNav auto launch settings at 1900 for the actual initial launch phase, so that should be enough to get it airborne, hopefully. If not, it's a nice flat field here, so it should just come down quite gently, hopefully, with no damage. Okay, so let's try and beat this 10k record. I'm going to be heading out from here. I'm on the hillside, and the land from here goes down to a large estuary, so I'm going to be flying kind of, I'm going to be above where I'm going to be flying, so obviously my 120 meters maximum altitude, so I should get a really good line of sight with the patch. So I'm running the FR632 with a patch and a Luminaire Axi 2 antenna. So and I'm driving that into the DJI goggles using the analog input. Okay, let's get this in the air and give it a test flight, and then we'll push out for the 10k plus. Okay, it feels really heavy, so hopefully this is going to get off the ground. So all we can do is try. Oh, she launched beautifully, like there was no extra weight at all. Wow, that's amazing. Right, let's put the goggles on and get this thing pushing out as soon as possible, because I really want to beat this 10k. We've got a bit of interference behind us. Right, start pushing her out. Let's get up to some altitude. Not why we're getting so much interference. Way too high. Okay.
Cruise mode.
Get her into cruise. Now I've set the cruise throttle to 35. See how it cruises. So how are we doing? The amount of battery that we've got doesn't look like 5200, but I set it as 5200 in iNav, so need to investigate that. Okay, we're cruising at 82 kilometers an hour, and we're pulling like 8, just over 8 amps. I guess I did have the plane sitting on the ground for a while I was fiddling around with things. Okay. We're just over 2 kilometers out. Signal's good. Crossfire's rock solid, 99. Got 23 satellites. Auto throttle's holding nicely. Now I did set up the pitch alignment the other day on this plane. Took me quite a while to get used to it, but I used the the iNav tuning guide from the iNav fixing group that Mark Hoffman wrote, and it's pretty easy to follow, but it wasn't so easy for me to do because I had some problems in angle mode, but got those solved now. So yeah, we're doing good. Just approaching the 3 kilometre mark. I know this place really, really well, so if we have any problems and it goes down, I should be able to find it quite easily. I've got the GPS coordinates anyway, and I've got an alarm buzzer with its own lipo, so that should be really, really useful. I've used it on many occasions in the past to find planes, and touch wood, I haven't lost a plane yet. So hopefully I can keep that track record. So heading towards the village where I live and my normal flying field, which is kind of dead ahead pretty much. Slightly to the right, those trees, that's my normal flying field. So she's holding good. Maybe she's pulling a few more amps than with the 3300 lipo because the plane is heavier. So but so far so good. Looking good. Holding at just about the legal limit and cruising nicely, very smooth, and almost halfway to my record, my current record that is. So I'm just going to bank slightly left. I don't want to go over the village, I want to go in between those two villages. So let's give it a bit of a turn. We'll head through those two villages. You can probably see in the distance the estuary, the river. A lot of industry along the river bank, of course. Power stations and chemical plants, that kind of thing. The patch is holding up pretty well. We'll need to change the angle of it at some stage when we start to get a bit fuzzy. But so far so good. At 5.7 Ks. This is why I'm considering if I continue to pursue this long range part of wings, which I'm really enjoying, by the way. I'd like to invest in a tracker. So just let me have a little bit of an adjustment on the antenna. Change the angle slightly, that's a bit better. Okay. So how are we doing on power? 76% battery. Normally at this stage I'd probably only have about 55% battery on the 3300s. Just going to everything slightly right. Go down those fields. What you can see down to the left is actually a Christmas tree plantation. Everybody in this kind of area goes there in December to get their Christmas trees. They grow them. I don't know how they grow them every year on that small patch of land, but they all seem to have plenty of stock, so that's really useful. And we just once we get past the motorway, we've got some man-made wetlands that we're going to fly over. I'll be able to see those shortly. We're still pulling just over 8 amps, 73% battery. I'm really surprised how well the plane launched with that extra weight. The launch settings are really good, so just bring it slightly to the right so we can fly over these man-made wetlands. So what you can see coming up below us is actually some artificial bird sanctuaries that have been created by our local authorities. They wanted to build on some of this land that you can see below us to the left. We have a lot of car importation here on a big port. You can see a lot of cars parked down there. I think they're Renaults, I'm not sure. And these wetlands below have been created, I'll just adjust the antenna, being created to create habitats for birds. So the birds that have been displaced from the land that they're going to use for industrial purposes are now going to be occupying those man-made wetlands. It's kind of like a legal requirement if you want to build property, commercial property, that we preserve habitat. So it's quite a good thing. I'm all for that. What you can see below us now is a gas-fired power station, and looming up you can see the big river, a big estuary, and I believe that the estuary is about 5 kilometers across, something like that. So let me get the angle of the antenna adjusted. Yeah, a tracker really would be cool. So we're approaching 10 kilometers. Oh, we've gone over 10 kilometers, so 68% of battery left. So I might just yeah, tracker would be great. Really would. Once you lose the antenna, okay, I think we're well and truly over the water now. And we've done 11 and 67. So I'll probably push it down to 60% battery because I don't really know how it's going to run on the way back. There's not much wind, but I don't want to push my luck too far. Flying over the water now. This is my first test flight for my 15K, which is my next milestone. And looking at what we've done so far, I think it's going to be possible. I need to get the plane launched straight away though to preserve as much energy as I can. Okay, so that's 12. See some boats below us. Signal's good. Still pulling the same amperage. Okay, all looking good. It's a huge estuary this, and the land sweeps around up ahead and round to the right in like a big hook. There's a lighthouse on the end there. I'd like to fly to that one day. Okay, 62, we've done 13. Okay, we're getting ready for the return to home switch. 13.5. Okay, let's bring her back. Nice panorama of the river there. Yeah, looks like we've got more than halfway across, which is pretty good. Now we're heading back on the homeward straight. And I'll be very happy when we are not flying over water. It's quite disconcerting. And we have got the altitude to be automatically dropping, so the only thing I haven't considered is whether the altitude drop now is based upon where I launched the plane from or sea level. I'll keep an eye on that as we get closer towards ourselves, make sure we don't go too low. We do have some power lines to cross. Yeah, so flying into a nice sunset. Nice reflection on the water. Looking good. So a little bit slower coming back. We may have a little bit of a wind. But, we're going to be okay. 57%. Crossfire rock solid. Altitude dropping on a linear basis as we come towards home. Oh boy, am I going to be pleased to hit that coast. Welcome to England. So almost got to my 15 on my first test attempt, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I'll be even more pleased when I get the plane back here and it's landed next to me. Almost back over land, get past these factories and this power station, and then we've pretty much got fields all the way home. 54% power. Signal looking good. Plenty of satellites. A little bit of turbulence there. And quite a lot of turbulence. Looking good. Right, coming towards the wetlands again. Nicely illuminated in the sunlight. See the shapes of how they've created the land and the water to create a nice habitat for the birds. %, still left, and just under 10 to go. Today's the first day, in fact, since we've had constant, high winds. We had 50, 60 mile an hour gusts here, and lots of heavy rain. It was the first opportunity to get out for quite a few days, and the new Lipo came last week, and I've been dying every day. You know how it is. You wake up in the morning, you check the weather, look out the window, it's windy, you check the weather again, and you seem to check the weather every hour just to see if the weather forecast is going to be wrong and there's going to be an opportunity to fly. But where I live here, there's a lot of wind, being by the coast. Okay, let's just adjust the antenna slightly. We are losing a little bit of altitude now, so maybe just need to adjust it slightly. .97 meters. Gonna take a wide berth with the village. Don't want to fly over the properties. A little bit of a right turn. Not sure why she doesn't want to turn very well. Get a better signal, take it out of cruise.
Angle mode. Actual mode.
Away from these buildings. Just get a little bit more altitude to make sure we clear the power lines on the way back. Okay, back into cruise. Okay, I'll just leave it in cruise rather than return to home. Keep some altitude over the power lines. %. Yeah, I think I can definitely do the 15 with this, and then if I want to start going further than that, then I guess I really need to think about considering LI on if I really want to do much more long range. Hope that's not thunder we're hearing. wouldn't be very good at all for it to suddenly start hammering it down and lightning. I've only got 5 kilometres to go, just about 6. Adjust the antenna again. It's a bit better. Get rid of those lines. Yeah, she's cruising beautifully. This plane really is a cruiser. I see people like hammering them around. I used to do that with mine, and after smashing it to pieces and having to buy a new fuselage, I learnt my lesson. Use my AR wing for that. And I'm in the process of building a mini drac, so that can be the machine that I can beast, the plane that I can beast around and have lots of fun with and do acrobatics. This really is purely a cruiser. I've got to say, a really good cruiser. I mean, I don't know that much about planes or wings. I've only been flying them for just over a year, but coming from quads, this is just like something completely different. This long range stuff, it's really, really kind of addictive. I can see why people, you know, really want to go push them out really, really far and go for records and stuff. It's really quite appealing. So yeah, we're doing well. 37% battery, just over 4 kilometres. So obviously the plane is much heavier, so in terms of landing, it's going to be coming down a lot faster. But here by the side of the road where I'm standing, nice grass verge with plenty of long grass, so come down into that and should be okay. So maintaining good altitude, really happy with the cruise. Pitch looks good, it's not rising and falling too much. Oh, looks really nice. Oh, lovely sky as well. Don't know whether we can see any of this light, but sometimes you see circles in these fields, like indents. They're where bombs were jettisoned during the Second World War. Planes were running out of fuel, they needed to lose weight, so they jettisoned bombs over these fields. I think that's maybe one below us, just coming up with that green field below us. That might be an old crater. You can usually see them when the sun's low. Just little dimples in the ground. Quite amazing, really, that you can still see them all these years later, really. Could possibly be another one to the left. I've actually come out today with without my contact lenses in, so in the goggles things are not really that clear for me to see a lot of detail. Okay. Just under 2 kilometres out now. So just under 2k out. I've got to say that was a really great flight. I'm going to bring it down in a second and land it, but I couldn't be more happy with the way it's performed. Everything was rock solid. Nearly did 15 kilometres on my first test flight attempt, so I'm really delighted with that. And yeah, this long range thing is yeah, it's getting pretty addictive. I think I want to go right across the river and right out to the North Sea, but have to make sure that my nerves can stand that kind of thing. So should be seeing the plane in a second now.
Return to launch.
Put it into return to launch. I forgot she was in cruise. Has she flown past us? Nope, she's not flown past us. That'll be an easy thing to do, wouldn't it? Leave it in cruise, take your goggles off and flies past you. I'll just turn the camera down, point it down the field, and we can do a victory flyby. To celebrate. There she is. She's looking great in the air, I've got to say. She's gone into loiter. Take her out of return to home. Still got 25% battery. That's incredible. I'll take her down a bit lower. We'll bring up the field. Now, although I've put this new motor on, I've still got the stock ESC, 30 amp ESC, so I think I might replace that and beef that up a little bit. Let's bring her around. Bring her down a bit lower, do a flyby. Really smooth. There she comes. Sounds lovely. Right, let's get her down. 18% left on the battery. Now we've got to do this dreaded landing with all this extra weight. So hopefully all will be good. Always use the same approach when I fly here to land. Across this field, round over the two trees, and bring her in. Some bleed off some altitude. Kind of slightly behind me, there's a big tree next to me. Get quite a bit of interference when I land, so that's not so pleasant. There's my tree. Two trees. Come on. Beautiful, nice and gentle. Okay, so let's have a look at some stats.
Ignition off.
Okay, it's hard for me to read without my glasses. So max distance just under 14 kilometres. Wow, that's brilliant. 33 round trip. Still had quite a bit of lipo left. Maximum current was 46 amps. That was probably on the climb with the auto launch, dragging that extra weight into the air. Says it used 4001 mAh out of the 5200. 120 mAh per kilometre, the average efficiency. And a 25-minute flight. Really can't complain at that at all. That's absolutely brilliant. Just turn off the DVR.